What are the weirdest NHL teams?
Mhm.
The weirdest NHL teams. And I had to really zoom out because first thought I had was Washington Capitals. You got a
Of
guy,
course.
greatest goal scorer ever, is turning 39 in September. You surround him with basically riffraff. You collect all the guys that nobody knows where they're going to go. All of the team is in no man's land. All of the players are in no man's land. It's so fascinating. They're weird, but they're weird endearing because they're an absolute party. Nobody knows if they're cool. I think they're cool. You think they're cool. Ryan Lambert thinks they are not cool.
Undecided.
Yeah.
I think you kind of just like you almost take the Capitals off the table at this point because they are the clear number one, like weirdest team in the NHL. I'm undecided as to whether it's endearing or derogatory. I think that is the jury.
Endearing.
The jury is out on that. It might be endearing for like a couple of weeks. They could be just horrible this season. Then you're like, fuck the Capitals.
Kind of like them making the playoffs was endearing until they started playing in the playoffs, and then it was like, oh, this is not good at all.
It was a waste of time.
Yeah. It's a big waste of time. But not that anybody else who would have taken that spot would have been any less of a waste of time.
Fair.
Yeah, like the Capitals, I think there are two very clear ones for me. It's the Capitals and the Utah Hockey Club, because the Utah Hockey Club doesn't have a name. They have like a half-finished arena, basically. They are in a very weird spot. They are going to be an extremely weird team, and there's a lot of figuring out to do there.
But their roster, I agree that those are the two obvious ones. Their roster has direction, and their franchise has direction. It is weird that A, they're in Utah. B, as you said, they don't have any real branding. You could go to the NHL store, see a million items, not want to buy any of them. I would consider them weird, but are they weird endearing, weird derogatory? I think they're very endearing.
I think that they're weird endearing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this shit's just like, it's a crazy year. It's a bridge year to being a real team.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even a real team yet. So yeah, it's a weird endearing, but like weird in a pretty finite timeline.
Can I give a submission for weird derogatory?
Yes.
Calgary Flames.
I don't even know if they're weird. I just think that they're uninteresting.
How did they happen? How is this happening?
How did we get here from like 2 years ago is your question?
What is going on?
Who's asking for this? Definitely nobody in Calgary.
Who's asking
Nobody asked for that in Calgary.
The best thing they have going for them is also something that's pretty weird, which is Tate McRae.
That's true.
And Tate McRae, weird endearing.
Yeah.
Calgary Flames experience right now, weird derogatory.
Uninteresting.
The players aren't having fun. Guys are getting moved out.
Yeah. I guess derogatory mean like I was going to say like I wish that they're weird, but that I wish that they were weird endearing. So I guess that would make them weird derogatory. It is weird that they've found themselves here where they just, what do you have there?
Yeah. What kind of weird are
what
the New York?
light is there in Calgary?
Yeah. What kind of weird are the New York Islanders?
Weird derogatory.
Yeah, just because it's like weird boring.
Yeah, it's
weird wild.
What do you expect from them?
Yeah, like I'm not giving the Wild weird, even though shout out Brock Faber getting that huge contract. I love that the Minnesota Wild, after guys' rookie years, are like, we've seen enough. Here's a bunch of money. That is so fucking cool. So you know what, Wild? You are weird endearing. I'm gonna fuck around and be a Wild guy.
No.
I'm gonna say I'm going to be. This is gonna be like a few years ago. I said I was gonna be a Mac Jones guy, basically to mock Patriots fans. I was like, hey, you're pretending Mac Jones is good. I'm going to do that too this year. I'm going to be every time Mac Jones throws a pass that's like 2 feet, I'm going to be like, wow, what a throw. I'm going to do some sort of facetious rooting or tongue-in-cheek for the Wild, but I know I'm going to forget about it after 3 days because the Wild are
every
boring.
other team is going to be more interesting, and you're going to be like, I'm wasting my time on these bozos.
Yeah.
I got one. The Philadelphia Flyers are very weird.
So super endearing.
Yeah, because they have torts. Like
they have torts. They have Danny Briere. He's so small.
You also have the gigantic Russian goalie. Don't know anything about that guy.
You forgot about that guy.
I forgot about that guy.
Yes.
I did.
Thought they didn't have a goalie.
Who's their goalie? Samuel Ersson? You're like, no, the big fucking Russian doofus.
Yeah, I don't know his name. He's not a doofus. He could be.
I mean, he's gigantic.
Sean, crunch some numbers.
On if he's a doofus or not.
Yeah, how's he testing?
I think he's a doofus. What's his?
Can you find his old tweets, please?
They
I
have
don't speak
Mitchkov.
Russian.
Like that's weird.
Yeah.
They're weird. They got they're kind of like an old iPhone where they were exciting at first. They started to run out of battery, and then eventually at the end of the season, they didn't even turn on anymore. Then they get Mitchkov, which is like a nice little software update. They still got the same old hardware.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that the Flyers are going to be any good, but they're weird.
It's a good analogy.
They also half of my favorite storyline next year, which is the Carter Gauthier Philadelphia Flyers rivalry.
Oh yeah,
That's going to be awesome.
that brings me to another point. Anaheim Ducks, extremely endearingly weird.
Good submission from Stacy. I was going to say in the chat says the Ducks are weird. They have no captain and they have Trevor Zegras. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. They also have Cutter Gauthier.
Yeah.
They have a ton of very, very interesting forwards. Not a lot on the back end.
Radko
they do have
Gudas.
Radko Gudas.
Perfect. The Ducks are just overall, I don't even care if we want to use weird on them, but they're just, whatever they are endearing.
They have the Ducks have big like lunch table energy where you have the old guys that have been there for a while. We're talking about Cam Fowler. Can't believe he's still there. John Gibson. Can't believe he's still there. You got Radko Gudas, who's a seasoned vet, brought in to be an adult in the room. He's there. Like they have the adult lunch table. Frank Petrano, adult lunch table at the Anaheim Ducks. But you also have the kids tables, and they have a lot of youth, a lot of exciting youth to that team. You got Zegras, McTavish. You got Cutter Gauthier. You've got. I mean,
Beckett Seneke, baby.
Oh my God.
Leo Carlson.
I'm
so in on Leo Carlson. I hope he's not a boring player.
I'm
He shouldn't
very
be.
in on the Ducks. Ducks are going to be fascinating.
I'm
Endearingly weird for sure.
I want to do season 2 in Anaheim, man. I'm telling you. Get us there.
Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you.
John Evans says, can't watch today, busy traveling, but you know I had to drop in and say, hello, let's go Wings. That is a team that I also wanted to discuss. I think they're weird. I'm undecided into where they land on the weird scale.
Yeah, they're in no man's land right now. It's not a good place to be.
I think they might be okay.
I'd say they're in no man's land, but that's
Maybe.
their playoffs. I mean, we talked about the fringe of the Eastern Conference a couple weeks ago. I don't even think we said the Red Wings name. I think we got them penciled in for missing the playoffs. Oh,
No, I'm definitely not penciling them in to miss the playoffs. I think that they're going to be around the same team that they were last year. Maybe a little better, maybe not. I don't know. I think they're going to hang around that same neighborhood. They're going to be a bubble team. Like if you're saying they're in no man's land, that they're not going to contend for a cup, that I can probably agree with. But who knows? They could be one of those teams that is like a few nice ads at the deadline away from becoming better.
I have a massive, weird, endearing team. The Nashville Predators. They are an NHL team in Tennessee. They always have a Finnish goalie. And if you say anything about that Finnish goalie, their fans who are in Tennessee will fucking kill you. They
With
are
guns.
very passionate about their team, their Finnish goalie. There's always a lot of cowboy hats going on. They've got an arena right downtown, just off of Broadway. It's an incredible scene, just madness over there. And they have Steven Stamkos on their team right now. And he's about to go scorched earth and win the Hart next year. So I love them.
They're also pretending like Brady Shea is like some elite defenseman now. Which is on like the longer I sit with the Nashville Predators offseason, they've done a good job. They're really interesting. The Brady Shea contract is going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad. Brady Shea is
fine.
He is not getting paid like a fine defenseman.
You don't go sign 3 big money guys without one of them being a bad contract.
That's true. That's a good point.
But yeah, the Predators, man, they've got that good weird stuff that I like. Any other weird teams?
We got another super chat. Stacy Faye, the love of your life, would like you to say toxic. Yuri, I don't know either. Shrug. Okay. Shout out to love of your life. Just
yeah, is love of your life not here?
No, I'm
delegating
guessing
super chats.
Yeah, they had someone send a super chat for him.
That's incredible.
I wouldn't take 290. It wouldn't take. So love of your life is just sitting out. Do we have any? Charlie says weird in parentheses slur.
Talking about Johnny because Johnny yet again came at your mustache.
Johnny is. I don't want to say like uncomfortably obsessed with my mustache, but it's not interesting enough to elicit.
Johnny's being weird, derogatory about your mustache.
Yes, there are too many more interesting things, even about me. Oh, and I mean though in the world than my mustache.
Johnny
Especially
did
right
also
now.
suggest an actual team. He said that the Ottawa Senators are weird and
I
endearing.
was going to bring up the Senators. I do believe that they are weird, endearing. I want the Senators to be good so bad.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them, but they might be a little weird, boring. Brady needs to like swing his stick at some people a little more this season. Cause a little more. He can do it.
Ridley Gregg,
Yeah.
maybe firing away a little bit more.
Yeah, I need some more shit out of them.
I think the Senators could be. I don't know what to feel about the Senators because I'm tentative to buy in on them because they were like one of the worst teams in the league last year in basically every meaningful category. But they got a goaltender.
Yeah,
They could be good.
yeah.
I love Linus Ullmark. Gonna root. I have to root for the Senators for solely Linus Ullmark purposes. But I would like the Senators to be good. I would love for the Senators and for the Buffalo Sabres to push for a playoff spot. Only one of them is going to get it maximum. But I would love at the end of the season for both of those teams to be in the mix.
I mean, this is the year that I have to be a Sabres fan because I was pushing against you being excited about them this year because it could just happen another year. And this year isn't as promising for them as last year was. Just getting rid of Skinner and not replacing him is kind of weird.
Hey, they got Jason Zucker.
But that's Sean and I were talking before the show. Like that's kind of it. And Sean, you raised a good point about the Skinner thing.
Yeah, they haven't spent the money. Like, why'd they cut him? Or why they
just like bought him out and didn't do anything with that money.
I mean, it could have been a Barry Trotz kind of situation. Nashville, he arrived. He immediately bought out Matt Duchene and Ryan Johansson. He did spend it with Ryan O'Reilly to change the culture a little bit. I don't want to like cast this sort of suggestion on Jeff Skinner, who I love much.
I've said to Jeff Skinner, not everybody likes you.
Well, yeah, of course. But like, do you think that Jeff Skinner may have been pushed out the door because of like to change the vibes around the Sabres a little bit? Take things a little bit more seriously. I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally plausible. I love Jeff Skinner and I love his personality, but I know like this isn't maybe it's even a commentary on NHL and their culture. Like there have been a lot of guys that have been considered like coaches or whomever like might not totally love them. And I'm like, well, I love them.
Yeah.
They seem pretty fine to me. So maybe you got to stick up your ass. I don't know. But sometimes those pieces just don't fit.
Yeah. Maybe it was just like they didn't want him to be a leader of that team. Maybe they didn't think that he was the leader of that team. So
well, then maybe don't throw him a fucking like outrageous party for his 1,000th game.
Another weird mood.
Interesting that he didn't wear a letter most of the time.
I think he's been like a career doesn't wear a letter guy.
I thought that he wore one in Carolina.
Maybe did he towards the end? He could have gotten like one of the early ones where like his second. Yeah, he wore an A. They're like, you're our second best player, so I guess you're gonna wear something. But there are some guys like I consider him one of them. Like you can be a great player without having to wear a letter. Like if Tyler Seguin went his whole career without wearing a letter, I wouldn't care about that. Be like he had a really good career. Nice one.
Another weird mood for the Sabres is signing James Reimer. I don't know what's happening there.
That is weird, concerning.
Yes,
not concerning of like how could you let him on your team?
It's just what's up with Devin Levi.
Yes, like your goaltending situation seemed pretty set to me.
Yeah. And Devin Levi was supposed to be the guy kind of last year, and he clearly wasn't. And they spent most of the season
I mean, they didn't pay for Reimer though, did they? Like,
no, but I mean, what's the point of signing him?
you can never have too many goalies.
Yeah, but
it's not like a quarterback situation where if you have 3 goalies, you got 3 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks.
You don't have one.
Yeah,
I think that you can have 3 goalies and be in okay shape.
I just wouldn't think it would be a guy like Reimer if they were thinking it was going to be UPL and Devin Levi tandem.
I mean, Reimer had a
904, right?
A 904 last year, which is it's weird to think now like that's like good.
I don't have a problem with Reimer being the backup goalie. My problem is more what does that mean for Devin Levi? Because he's not going to play in the NHL again, assuming that Reimer is good and is the backup. Like,
I need Levi to be there.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's
tandem.
what I'm saying. Like,
I have too many tweets about Devin Levi that he's got to be good. I'm gonna get quote tweeted into oblivion if Devin Levi ends up sucking.
We all silly like the mayor.